What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Redneckanize, and thanks for watching. This week, we're going to tackle the true meaning of the term self-insured. But first, we're going to talk to the four-wheelers about what truck drivers are looking for when we're merging into traffic using the on and off ramps of the interstate. So, let's get to it. Welcome to Redneckanize. When everything goes wrong, and the job still has to get done, you gotta redneckanize. Hey, what's going on, truckers? Now, thanks for watching. Today we're going to talk about the merging on and off the highway using on-ramps or off-ramps. It's kind of a big deal for truck drivers because the rates of speed change so quickly in between getting on or off the freeway. So what truck drivers look for is they look for the traffic to have little gapes in it so that we can merge in and out much easier. And when we're traveling down the highway and we see the on-ramps coming up, what we look for is we look for the traffic coming out. And what we hope to do is hope to time it right to where we don't have to back off that much. And a lot of times you see the four-wheelers, they're not paying attention. So what we try to do is we try to either get over to let them come in, or we'll just have to back off of it. And we don't really like doing it. So what we do is we ask that the four-wheelers could pay more attention when they're getting on the freeway. That will help us out way better than anything. Because when you're getting out there, you're supposed to yield to the traffic out there already on the highway. So what we want to do is we want to try to get up to speed, going the safest speed possible on the on-ramp to go out there onto the freeway and get up to speed, up to the regular flow of traffic. What happens is a lot of times the on-ramps are not long enough for the vehicles to get up to speed, especially big trucks. Big trucks trying to get out there and merge into traffic, it's much harder. So what we would like four-wheelers to do is just pay more attention to getting on and off the highway. Now, getting off the highway is kind of the reverse. The truck drivers that are on the service road, well, we know we have to yield to the off-ramp. So we're always looking out for the off-ramps, and we want to make sure that that traffic, it goes as smoothly as possible, especially big trucks coming off an off-ramp. Big truck on the off-ramp, he's going much faster than he probably would like to on that off-ramp, because you're going 65, 70 miles an hour on the freeway, and a lot of times you don't have a lot of time or warning to hit that exit, and you got to start backing off as quick as you can. That's kind of what we try to do, as safe as possible. But what we try to make sure everybody knows is that the traffic that's on the highway has the right of way, whether they're out there driving and merging with the on-ramp, or that traffic gets on the off-ramp, that traffic has the right of way. You see the signs on the service road that says yield to ramp. And that's the main important thing, is you want to yield to the ramp and let that traffic get down, slow down, merge over, and make their turns. A lot of times you see the newer interstates, when they're made, the exit is further back from like a red light or a stop sign, to allow that deceleration. The old days, they weren't really focused on, safety. It's kind of funny that way. But the exit ramp is right next to the red light, and it's kind of like you come off and boom, slow down, stop. That's really not the right way to do it, especially nowadays that the trucks, they're going faster, they're smoother, and they're just way bigger and heavier. So we want to make sure everybody's able to stop and slow down safely. What we often see is that just they're merging on and off a highway. Four-wheelers just don't pay enough attention. Maybe it's just a universal thing. We see truck drivers not pay attention sometimes too. But what we want to make sure is that everybody gets up to speed as quickly as possible, getting onto the freeway, and that the service roads can yield to the off-ramp to allow the off-ramps to slow down and merge over as safely as possible. Those are the two main things we want to see. Now, when I'm out there and I'm getting onto the on-ramp in a big truck, sometimes, well, most of the time, I'm not able to get up to speed as quickly as I'd like so that I can merge into that traffic. And a lot of times the traffic is crowded, so you're not going to be able to be let in because there's trucks or cars in the left lane and the other vehicles that are in the right lane can't get over. So you're just going to have to wait for them to go by. Now, sometimes I can't get on it as fast as I want to, so I've got to just back off and let it go. But I also want to stay all the way to the right. And I sometimes would ride that shoulder just to make sure that I'm signaling to that other traffic, go on, go ahead, don't worry about me. You get down the road, I'll merge in, I'll figure it out. And that's pretty much what we want everybody to do. We want people coming up to the on-ramp that the traffic out on the highway, they're going faster. They're mixed in with other fast-moving vehicles, sometimes going faster than they are. We want them to be able to get down the highway as safely as possible. The on-ramp, the merging on-ramp, we're the ones, okay, that have to figure it out, either slow down or speed up, depending on our ability, and be able to merge in when it's safe. If the traffic is bad, then we're the ones that has to come to a stop or pull over and let everybody go by. And that's just what it's going to do. That's just something you may not know. You should know. Sometimes we shrug our shoulders and don't understand why there's four-wheelers out there that just don't pay attention, and they seem to think that I'm the one out here supposed to yield to an on-ramp coming out on the highway, or that I'm the one that's supposed to yield to the service road when I'm getting off the highway. And that's just completely opposite of what's supposed to happen. So again, let's get this straight. When you're merging onto the highway, you need to yield to the traffic that's already on the highway. And then when you're on the service road, you need to yield to the ramps coming off the highway. That's the main thing we want to worry about. And we appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you out there on the road. We'd like to thank one of our supporters, DPF Regeneration. The folks at DPF Regeneration have always looked out for truckers. Today's technology in big trucks has gotten more and more complicated, especially when it comes to those particulate filters. DPF filters need to be serviced, cleaned, and sometimes replaced, and DPF Regeneration handles it all. They have the knowledge, the network, and the inventory to get what truckers need to stay out on the road making money. Give them a holler at 800-634-3010 or check them out at www.webachem.com. Plain and simple, DPF Regeneration. You know, we always hear it when we're at the truck stops or in the driver's lounge. You know, those big carriers, they can afford to take that cheaper freight because they're self-insured. Or what we often hear is, oh, them big carriers, boy, I tell you what, they can afford to have them accidents because they're self-insured. Now that one here don't make a lot of sense because accidents are expensive, and that's just crazy. So most of the time when you hear the term self-insured, you're actually referring to a lot of the bigger, larger carriers out there that are technically classified as having their own insurance, their own money backing up their insurance, underwriting or whatever. So the one thing that we can all agree on is that insurance, especially trucking insurance, is very expensive and highly regulated. We know out there that you have to have at least $750,000 of liability coverage. Most carriers require owner-operators to have $1 million. Most everybody has $1 million. A lot of the states are trying to get that raised, and of course the federal law still says right now at $750,000. And most other insurance companies that owner-operators deal with, well, you can't get nothing less than $1 million. So to go back to common sense and what everybody else does, if you're an owner-operator and you have a insurance rate set at a certain level, monthly rate, and they tell you, okay, you pay this much a month and your deductible is $1,500. But if you pay a little bit more a month, your deductible is $1,000. If you want to pay a little bit less a month, then your deductible goes up to $2,000. And that's with all the four-wheelers too. Same deal. You pay a higher rate monthly and your deductible goes down. Well, the insurance companies, the self-insured big trucks, carriers, created their own companies. What they've done is said, okay, I don't want a monthly payment at all. Well, what does that do? Well, the insurance regulators for the state says, well, you got to have money because you can't have insurance without having money. So what they've done is they've actually created the maximum deductible. So these larger carriers now have a $1 million deductible, which means that they don't pay monthly, but when they have an accident, $1 million has to go into an escrow account until that accident gets cleared. That is technically self-insured right there. They have to take money out of their own bottom line, however they got it. They have to have the cash on hand most of the time for an insurance regulator for the state that they're operating out of to give them the right to have insurance under their own authority, under their own insurance. And so what they have to do is every time that they have an accident, they have to take $1 million, put it into an escrow account until that accident gets cleared. And that's another reason why you see all these larger carriers, they have this huge, they call it the accident claims department, where they have people behind the computers and on phones all day long, and they're clearing up those accidents, because as long as those accidents stay not cleared, well, then that money stays out of their hands. When they clear the accident, pay the claim, pay the, whatever they owe, if they owed anything or get anything taken care of on that. Once they clear it, then that money can go back into their operating capital. What I try to tell people all the time is when a big carrier is self-insured, that has nothing really to do with how they operate differently than anybody else. Okay, it's actually very, very expensive to have a trucking company and have insurance. Whether you're self-insured or not, you got to have that money. We're not self-insured. We pay monthly to a company that has the capital or the cash reserve to cover in case we have an accident. And that's why they are licensed by the states that we operate out of to be able to cover that. These big carriers are the same way. They have to have that capital on hand to operate that way so that they can be classified as self-insured. And like I said, they don't pay monthly, but when an accident does happen, that money has to get set aside until they get it cleared up. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to help us provide a great truck show experience, please consider making a tax-deductible donation to Redneckanize. Please visit our website at www.redneckanize.com for more details. Thank you.